All right, so we'll start out with a general overview of the front of the trailer. Everything is properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. All my lights, lenses, and reflectors are clean and of the proper color. Amber for my left turn signal, my four-way flashers, and my clearance lights. Then I'm going to move in and look at the bulkhead. Make sure the bulkhead is properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose, and there are no holes in the bulkhead. Then I'll come down to my reflective tape. My reflective tape covers at least 50% of 100% of the trailer, and it is clean. Then we're going to move to our landing gear. Landing gear is properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Both landing gear, my cross braces, and my cross members, all properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. My landing gear foot is all the way up, and there's no debris on the landing gear foot. My landing gear handle is properly stowed. Then we're going to look up underneath the trailer at all of the cross members from the front to the back, make sure they are all present, properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Then we're going to move on to the rear. We're going to check my airlines, make sure they are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. There are no abrasions, bumps, or cuts on the airlines, and they're not leaking. Signs of leaking would be an audible air noise. They are also at least 18 inches off the ground. Then I'm going to come back and do a general overview of the rear of my trailer. Everything appears to be properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Then I'm going to move in. I'm going to look at my sliding tandem rail. It's properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. My locking pins are in the locked position. And for the sliding tandem on this particular trailer, the release handle is between the tires. Here's my release handle. It's properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose, and it is in the locked position. Then we'll move to the front. And we'll look at our frame. Our frame is properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. And while we're here, we're going to move into our suspension. So our leaf spring hanger, our leaf spring, or leaf springs, our U-bolts, and our bump stop. And on this particular truck, it does not have airbags or shocks. It has a shackle. All parts are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Our leaf springs are not shifted or missing. And we will go back up here and look at our adjustable torsion bar. It is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Signs of looseness would be shiny metal threads on the torsion bar. Then we'll move in and look at our braking system. Our brake chamber and clamps are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're not leaking. Signs of leaking would be an audible air noise. Then we would look at our airlines. If you'll notice, there's no wire on here because this trailer doesn't have ABS system on it, so there's no ABS wire. So our hoses are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're not leaking. All fittings and clamps are securely fastened. Signs of leaking would be an audible air noise. There are no abrasions, bumps, or cuts on the hoses. Then we will go back and we will look on both sides at our push rod and our slack adjuster. They are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. To check my push rod, I would make sure the brakes are released and make sure the push rod does not move more than 1 inch with the brakes released. Then we will move into our brake drum and our brake pads. There are no signs of contaminants in our brake drum of oil or grease. It is properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Our brake pads have no less than 1/4 of an inch pad left on the pads themselves. While we were here, we'll look at our axle. Axle is properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, damaged, loose, and it's not leaking. It's also not bent. Then we will move on to our tires and rims. Our tires are properly mounted secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are evenly worn. Since these are trailer tires, they can be recaps or retreads. They can be no less than 2/32 of tread left on them. They do not have to be the same brand, but they do have to be the same size. There are no illegal patches or plugs. There are also no abrasions, bumps, or cuts on the tires. We will have to check the tire pressure with a tire gauge on the valve stem, which should be a metal valve stem with a metal cap. Both tires should be no less than 100 psi. Since they are dual tires, we'll look between them, make sure there is no less than 3 inches of space between the tires and no space between the rims. Then we will come out and start checking our rims. Our rims are properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose. There are no illegal welds on the rims. Our lug nuts are all present. They're properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose. Signs of looseness would be rust streaks or shiny metal shavings. Then we move into our hub seal, which is properly mounted secure, not crack damaged, loose, or leaking. Signs of leaking would be fluid coming down the hub seal or inside the rims themselves. To check the fluid level on the hub seal, we would pull this grommet out, stick our finger in up to 1 knuckle, and when we pull our finger out, if there's fluid on it, then they are at the proper level. Then we would put the grommet back in. Then we will move on to the second axle. We would check the second axle and all of its components the same way that we did this one. From there, we'll move to the rear of the trailer. Going by, we will check our mud flap hanger and our mud flap, make sure both are properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose, and our mud flaps are not touching the ground. Then we will move to the back of the trailer. Start with a general overview. Everything is properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose. All our lights, lenses, and reflectors are clean and of the proper color, which is red, for left and right turn signals, 4-way flashers, tail lights, brake lights, and our clearance lights. Then we'll move in and look at our door. Our door is properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose. All of the seals have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. My latches and hinges, which are on the inside for the hinges, are properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose. Our latch is also properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose, and it is in the locked position. Then we'll come down and look at our DOT bumper. Our DOT bumper is properly mounted secure, not crack damaged or loose, and we have reflective tape that runs 100% of the DOT bumper. Then I would step to the passenger side and I would inspect everything down the passenger side the same way as I did the driver's side. This will conclude section 3 of your pre-trip. We're going to move on to section 4, which will be your coupling, since this is a combination vehicle.